NBA Straya. How are you going? How you going? Are you right? You should be. Why is that, Jim? Well, it's Thirsty Thursday. I'm going to go see the living end tonight. And your Minnesota Timberwolves are back in the Western Conference Finals. That's right, we've got two Aussies in the conference finals. Anyway, this is NBA Australia. I'm your host, James Clements, here in Larry Armour Studios. Two huge Game 5s to talk about today. Boston, New York is going back to MSG for a Game 6. The Warriors are going back home and staying there because they're out. Minnesota. They're going to go hang out on the couch for a couple of days to take on the winner of OKC Denver. Other bits of news as well. We've got Blazers up for sale. We've got the draft fake out beginning. I'm loving this. I'm all about the fake news for the draft and a bunch of other little bits and bobs. We've got the game wraps. We've got That's Not a Knife. We've got Old Mate No Mates. We've got Spud of the Night. We've got Better Than Lonzo Ball. We've got a mic that's actually working. Very sorry about yesterday. Very frustrating. I'll yell about that in a second. I've got some YNRs. We've got the unpopular opinion there. We've got Outback Takehouse. We'll do an Andrew Goes Grey MAMBA Award for outstanding achievement in the field of excellence, but more of a great moment in NBA Australia stat history as well. And we'll pick and preview the single remaining game tomorrow, which will be fun. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Episode 1269. That's right, 1269. Nice.
Hey, what's up? This is Nick Hexum from 311, and you're listening to NBA Straya.
Watch out for the Shaq attack.
You better. Or if you're Shaq, you better watch out for the Dwight Howard attack, apparently. It's like, there's like a little skit where it's like, Dwight's going to take Shaq's seat. And you know how we've given Jason Tatum just immense amounts of like grief for not having any aura? Dwight Howard might be the least funny motherfucker who actually thinks he's funny, not named James Clements. He says, laughing at another shit joke of his own creation. Seriously, Dwight, this skit, it's fucking painful. Anyway, you should also watch out, I guess, for the attack of Jim being a dumb fuck on yesterday's show with Chris Anstey and forgetting to reset his mic through the board and sounding like dog shit. So apologies for yesterday. It was a great chat with Chris. He delivers all the wisdom, sounds awesome, and I'm a fucking idiot. So yeah, nothing's changed. Hey, let's start today's show with a daily. Oh, it's a whip around. It's a Jim. Of course it is. Hey, Jim, why aren't you wearing a hat? Well, I'm going to go to the living end tonight, and I didn't want to, redo my hair after wearing a hat all day. So yeah. Watch the YouTube. That's just another good plug for it. Hey, we've got lots of news. Let the draft fuckery begin. That's right. I love this because we've already got, like, today, right out of the gate, we had the Mavs at number 1 and San Antonio at number 2 going, no, we're definitely keeping our pick in the draft and we don't want to trade it because we're really fucking locked in on taking the dude that we want, which is literally like NBA code for send me all of your best trade propositions. So the Mavs, they've got Tim McMahon out there going, they plan to select Cooper Flagg with the number 1 pick, and they will not entertain even the possibility of trading away the pick for a proven superstar. I believe this a little bit more because as McMahon goes into it, he talks about how the governor of the Mavs, Patrick Dumont, a.k.a. the big fucking what is he? Like the Gerber baby kind of looking motherfucker. Anyway, he looks like Tommy Boy, but if Tommy Boy had been hitting around the head with a couple of 4x2s. Anyway, he's just finished his first year as the governor, and he's like, look, we get a chance to draft a generational talent like Flagg. It's a gift. And Dumont's given Nico Harrison leeway to run basketball ops. Apparently, the owner has final decision on personnel matter. We talked about this yesterday with Chris about the Luka trade. And it does feel like Patrick Dumont, as dumb as he may seem, may have learned a little bit of a fucking lesson. Maybe just take the dude. I'm just saying. And then the Spurs also came out and said, look, hey, we fucking love Dylan Harper, man. We think he can play next to our other guards that we have now suddenly clogging up our backcourt next to Wemby. Dylan Harper, he can play with Darren Fox and Stephon Castle. And everyone's like, yeah, I guess he could. He's a bit big. Yeah, sure. Which is also just the Spurs going, send me all your greatest trade propositions, Milwaukee, which is fun. Speaking of trade stuff, Rocco's out there looking pretty good. Got a great looking 3-point stroke. As we talked about yesterday with Chris, what the fuck was he doing with the Bullets last year? It was, and they won fuck all games anyway. Anyway, we also had a bunch of the other Aussies sort of doing their, a lot of the measurement stuff at the Combine. So we'll go through a bunch of that tomorrow because obviously with only one game to talk about on tomorrow, we can dig into a little bit more of the Aussie draft stuff, which is what I'm keen on doing. Other news, little bit too little too late kind of vibes on this one. Steph Curry had sort of like gotten through light on-court workouts and shooting drills apparently, essentially saying he'd been at least given clearance to have a crack. So he might have been able to play in a Game 6 if the Warriors hadn't got the shit kicked in out of them tonight. So here we are. Speaking of which, Draymond got fined $50,000. The latest in another Draymond sort of schmozzle, right? This one, I didn't even talk about this one the other day because he got captured on camera going, yeah, the line is 5.5. The line is 5.5. Yeah, 5.5. And so the NBA has interpreted that as Draymond is yelling this from the bench, either to a teammate, to an official, or to the opposition. The NBA interpreted that as saying that Draymond was questioning the integrity of the officials, saying the 5.5 spread number, which is pretty funny. So Draymond's out there going, yeah, they're trying to make this cover. Or they're trying to push, like they're trying to fuck us. It's 5.5, which is pretty funny. I'll pay that. There's a little bit of Giddey news as well. I believe it was Hoops Hype had the belief around, basically in their wrap-up of their draft stuff, they talked about Giddey looking to command a $150 million 5-year deal from the Bulls, very similar to the Jalen Suggs deal with Orlando, so around that $30 million year mark, which tracks. He's got to pay for his Frankston subs somehow. And then two other little bits of bobs of ownership stuff. So the Blazers are up for sale now, finally. You might remember Paul Allen, owner of the Blazers, the Seahawks. I think he owns like the MLS team. Anyway, they're basically out there going, he died in like 2018. And they're like, look, the sale of the sports properties, that's what we're going to do at this point. That's what I want to happen after I pass away. Phil Knight from Nike came out and said, yeah, not interested in buying the Blazers. And you're like, okay. And this just sort of, the timing of this shits me up the wall just a little bit because obviously I've talked at length about NBA expansion and what they could command for two new franchises. And we sort of got the Celtics sale happening, and it happened. And you're like, fucking hunky-dory, $6 billion, boom, we've got new records. And then the Blazers are like, fuck, we'll take a bit of that. Can we sell us? And I'm like, can we just get to the bit where we expand the NBA and give me back my beloved Seattle Supersonics? If you are watching on the YouTube, there is the great Sean Kemp fucking poster on the wall. I've got the other, I should actually move it around because I've got the actual Rain Man poster that's signed from Sean Kemp on the other wall. I'm not going to move the camera because I'll probably fuck it up. Knowing me at the moment, Jesus. Anyway, so the Blazers being up for sale is fascinating. We'll see what happens there. We will keep tabs on that. And the other little bits and bobs about ownership. Ryan Smith of the Jazz. That's right, the Utah Jazz. He wrote a thing and he wrote, woke up frustrated, went for a run, audibly screamed. Sun peeked over our mountains, ran into a fellow disappointed Jazz fan, remembered, this is Utah. So, getting back on the horse with the best fans in the league because it's what we do here. Goal doesn't change. And this is a really fucking interesting sort of like little bit of an insight to a team that had literally the worst luck you could have having the worst record in the NBA, dropping to the 5 spot in the lottery. And it sort of just reminds you, yeah, we talked about this with Chris yesterday. It's a 14% chance at number 1 overall. I think you also end up with like a 20% chance to go to 5. And it's sort of rolling these dice and you're like, this is a bit fucked. And then it sort of crosses my mind. It's like, hang on. small market teams and number one picks. Do you reckon there's much of a correlation when it comes to like the lottery odds and how that sort of rolls out over time? We are currently doing an investigation. Send me what you reckon. I'm going to dig into it. It's pretty fun. Hey, let's wrap up some games from today. Game wraps. Oh, yeah. That's right. They were out there shipping up to Boston, the state of Massachusetts, for Game 5, Knickerbockers, Celtics. We also have to remember Doris Burke tried to say New York Knickerbockers, and there's like a little bit of an inflection on the Knickerbocker, right? You've got to really go hard on the K's. I'm just saying. Anyway, Boston end up just shit pumping them in the end, right? They got straight killed.
So he got straight killed.
127-102. But this game was tied at 59. It was a really, really, really fascinating game, of course, because Jason Tatum's Achilles surgery, he's out for the season, for the year, right? He's done for this season, obviously, all of next year, probably at the very best, right? And we have this minute of just like, yeah, but as I said on this morning's video, there's probably two ways this go, right? Like the Celtics lock in and kick the fuck out of the Knicks in Game 5 and it's like, yeah, we're doing it for Jason. Or they get fucking killed because they lost Jason Tatum and they're like, this fucking sucks. And you can understand both. It turns out like the way that they started was really, really, really impressive as well. D. White was just hitting threes. Jaylen Brown looked really, really assertive. Their big problem was that the Extreme Zinger Meal was not supercharged today.
Supercharged Zinger Burger.
He was in fact quite horrible. That turned out to be a bit of a blessing in disguise, didn't it? Because Luke Cornett comes on and turns into fucking prime Hakeem Olajuwon out of nowhere. And Joey Muzz, after the game, comes out and goes, yeah, bro, he couldn't breathe, man. So, look, he was available, but only fucking fully, absolutely necessary, bro. All accents and quotes approximate, but that's basically what he said. And the Knicks get up early in the second quarter. They're up 8, and you can just feel the fucking life go out of that Boston crowd there at the Boston. It's not the Boston Garden, TD Bank North Garden, whatever the fuck they want to call it. And then they sort of trade buckets, though. They fight back. They reel it back in. Horford suddenly looks pretty good again, and you're like, aha. That's kind of key. Brown was still looking really, really good. Jaylen Brown, remember, he won a fucking finals MVP. And most importantly, they got Karl Anthony Towns in foul trouble because that motherfucker has never met a player in the NBA he could not foul in some wildly fucking stupid manner. Right? He's like, how about I just run straight over this guy? You're like, Karl Anthony, what are you doing, you idiot? And he's like, just wanted to see if they'd call it, really. Moron. Anyway, it's tied 59-59. Brown's terrific. Hart's bleeding everywhere. Also causing all sorts of havoc. He was really fucking good at this game. And then the Celtics just go 1, 2, 3, bang! White hits a couple of threes. He's fouled by Brunson's face, which they check, which is hilarious. He has 3 free throws all of a sudden. Pritch hits a 3. Bang! They're up 13 out of fucking nowhere. I'm like, oh, well, that was quick. And that's the danger of this Boston team, even without Jason Tatum. They just hit a fuck ton of threes, and you're sitting there going, Jesus, how do we keep up? Usually it's also hit some threes yourself, but the Knickerbockers of New York City were not able to do that today. The Knicks didn't even score for the last 3 minutes of the third quarter, which is a giant kick in the dick when you're trying to catch a team who's already up on you by like 15 points. You know, it's not rocket surgery. It's just maths. And that's like, seriously, that was almost just about all she wrote from there because it got out to 22 right at the start of the fourth quarter and the Celtics just ran away with it. Boston just played with so much more desperation, which you understand in this spot, right? You're facing elimination. You're at home. You've got Timothy Chalamet and 2 absolutely fucking just smoking baddies next to him. One of them is probably Kylie Jenner. I do not know who the fuck the other one was. You could tell me and I'd be like, sure. That's a man with aura, BT Dubs. Jason Tatum should be at home with his fucking foot in a boot. He's probably still in the hospital. He should be taking notes. It's like, Chalamet, baddies, Tims, riding every bucket of motion. Pretty good. That's aura. Chalamet, aura. Jason Tatum, unfortunately no aura, and a snapped Achilles. I'm also not going to talk shit about Jason Tatum and his Achilles because I literally had to go have treatment on mine again today where they do the electronic things to shoot cortisone into it. And yeah, it's working, but very fucking slowly. And I have to do that so I don't fucking tear it. So anyway, and then I have to give myself shit about having zero aura and a fucking snapped Achilles, and I'm an old, fat, useless prick. Whereas Tatum's got like $300 million worth of a contract. Anyway, it got so bad that the Knicks end up putting their bench in with 3 minutes to play. And you know that Tibbs, that just fucking hurt him in the dick so much. So Brunson got an absolute bunch of bullshit fouls and fouls out, which was hilarious. They put him on the Jumbotron. But look, the big problem was the Knicks hit 10 less threes than Boston. This is so much of what Boston's entire thing comes down to. Yes, their structure and their defense is really fucking good, but if the threes are dropping, they're almost impossible to beat. New York shot 35% from the floor as well. Not handy. Cat has 19 and 8. Brunson 22 and 6. He shot 7 of 17 and only 1 of 4 from deep. OG had a fucking shocker. 1 of 12 from the floor. He's going to pop up later. Hart was really good. 24, 7 and 2. But I feel like Josh Hart, it's like cool. It's like free money. But it's sort of like the other shit that he does. The bleeding from the head, the hustle. Fuck, he's the heart and soul of this team. Excuse the pun. Bridges, 4 of 14 shooting. Look, and this is it. The Knicks, it can almost be as simple as that as well. So Boston hit threes. If you get fuck all from OG and from Bridges, you're fucked. 4 of 14 and 1 of 12. When you got those two dudes shooting, 5 for 26? Mate, pack her up. You're done. Pack her up, boys. Mitch Robinson, the other Mitch Robinson, the better Mitch Robinson, 8 points, 13 rebounds. Awesome game from him. Deuce had 11. They put the scare into Boston. That first half was really tight, but they did not ever think that it would be Luke Cornett who would kick their ass. And that's exactly what happened. It was the Luke Cornett game, and the Derek White's going to smoke a million threes, and you're fucked. We're going back to MSG game. So 22 of 49 from downtown for Boston. And they shot over 52% from the floor. Only 8 turnovers. That's a pretty good fucking recipe, right? Brown has 26. Derek White, 34, 3 and 2 with 3 blocks. He goes 7 of 13 from deep. He was awesome. And as I said at the top, Al Horford, 12, 5 and 2. He went 2 of 3 from 3. Very, very important, underrated aspect of him. Being good, equaling the Celtics being almost unbeatable. Jrue Holiday, same sort of thing. 14, 7 and 3 for him. Pritchard ends up with 17 points. Had a bit of a slow start, but ends up hitting 5 of 14 from deep. And as I said, the Supercharged Zinger Burger
Supercharged Zinger Burger
was not supercharged today. 1 point in 12 minutes. But then I feel like as I messaged the stats boy, I feel like Zinger and Cornett pissed in the same fountain. Like there's a bunch of fountains in the giant park there in Boston. Or is it the Common? And they clearly just got on the Terps the other day, pissed in the same fountain. Cornett turned into like prime Zinger. 10 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 fucking blocks. He was 5 of 5 in 26 minutes. He was everywhere. That was awesome. And the cool thing is, we're going back to MSG for a Game 6. Yo, beauty! Because there is nothing I love more than really loud, obnoxious fan bases absolutely shitting themselves. That goes for Boston fans. It goes for Lakers fans. It goes for Knicks fans, Sixers fans. I love it. I'm an equal opportunity hater. Don't ever forget that. Either way, the Knicks lead 3-2. We're going back to MSG. Let's do it. And then finally, the other game, 110-121. Wasn't even that close. The Wolves hang on to cover. So Jim went 2 of 2 on his picks again today. 121-110. The Wolves fucking absolutely just curb stomped the Warriors kind of in slow increments and then just kept kicking them in the guts. And like it was a little bit of window dressing down the stretch where they outscored them 38-28 in the fourth quarter. But so much of this for the Wolves, again, we're going to talk about recipes. Jimmy, you hungry? Always. For beers and food. Kuminga was doing stuff. And so much of my entire fucking just like, Steve Kerr, awesome coach. I do not know better than Steve Kerr. No fucking shit. And there's like a report about, yeah, look, they didn't play Kuminga because Steve Kerr was pissed that he'd be like waving off Steph Curry or basically taking them out of their offense to go get his own, which is fine. And like Steve Kerr's trying to like, my way or the highway, motherfucker. And Kuminga's like, you know that I'm pretty good at basketball though. And Steve Kerr's like, I do not care. And then he has to care because suddenly he doesn't have Steph Curry, and Kuminga was really fucking good. He does sort of break a lot of plays though, and he goes, check this out. But anyway, Dante DiVincenzo, the big Ragu wakes up for the Wolves, which was massive as well. But this huge run at the back end of the second quarter for Minnesota just blows this game away, right? It's 30-23 after the first quarter. It's sort of like a pretty interesting arm wrestle, and it just never felt like the Warriors had enough on offense, even with Pods firing, Kuminga firing. And why is that, Jim? Because Jimmy Butler, playoff Jimmy, kind of no-showed again. Now, there are sort of kind of like whispers of him being sick, and you're like, right, so he's battling through it. Oh, geez, Jimmy Butler, what a warrior. Great. But he took as many shots in an elimination closeout game as Draymond Green and 8 less shots than Brandon Podemski. What the fuck are we doing here, playoff Jimmy? Seriously. You know me, I've always thought the playoff Jimmy thing was a bit fucky, but then he whips out one awesome game and you're like, what the fuck was that, man? And it's the legend of playoff Jimmy continues. And you're like, yeah, sure. What's he won? Just checks notes. Oh, that's right. Fucking nothing. Anyway, 62-47 at the half. The Wolves are shooting 61%. This is despite a million fucking turnovers as well. And those are the things that sort of worry me. Randle was fantastic. Ant Man played one of his very best games we've seen him play. McDaniels is fantastic, as the role players at home will tend to be, right? Awesome Mike Conley game. Really good Rudy game, to the point where Shaq at halftime is calling what? Rudy Abdul Gobert. And it's like, Shaq, he's got 11 points. That's just, what the fuck, man? But it was like that mix of absolutely everything hitting all at once. And you're like, even with Naz Reid not having a big game, he finishes with 8-4. The Wolves just fucking steamrolled this Warriors team where Buddy Hield can't hit a shot. Jimmy Butler is apparently afraid to take a fucking shot. And suddenly you're like, save us, Johnny Kuminga, cum dog millionaire. You're our only hope. And Draymond's going, get out of the road. I'm the fucking hope here. And it's like, Draymond, fuck off. 10-6-6 with 3 turnovers and a bunch of fucking dumb shit. Like, my favorite Draymond Green moment from this game was essentially there was like a moment where they're making a run in the fourth quarter, right? They're down over 20 despite 17 turnovers from Minnesota after the third quarter. They're down 21. It's like a 19-6 run by the Wolves to close out the third quarter as well. So they're just like fucking putting him to the sword. And then the Warriors have a crack. It's Pods and Moody going off at the start of the fourth quarter. 3 more turnovers for the Wolves. With 7 minutes left, Draymond goes off his fucking rocker about Rudy Gobert. Basically, like an elbow under the basket. And Draymond's like, no, we've got to challenge it, James. We've got to challenge it. Challenge. He's like walking to the bench. We're going to challenge it, Steve. We're challenging it. Challenge it, Steve. And they challenge. And the ref's like, what the fuck are you on about? Like, that's not what the call was. And if we're going to call, like, you know, a foul in the area of the thing, that wasn't. And Draymond's like, oh. And a bit of Outback Takehouse. This is where, as a coach, you should be able to punch Draymond. Right? Or at least just slap him over the back of the head. It's just go, shut the fuck up, idiot. They had a bit of momentum. That completely fucked them. They go to hack a Rudy with like 4.5 minutes left and it's an 11-point game. It does not work. Ant Man and Randle keep getting loose. The Warriors defense just falls apart and they end up getting run over. So Butts ends up with 17-6-6 with 3 steals. You're like, it's not too bad. He was also a minus 17 in 42 minutes. Right? It's just 4 of 11 from the floor. 0 of 3 from deep. He gets to the line a bunch, but it came a little bit too late. You got Draymond with a 10-6-6. Buddy with 8 points on 9 shots. Pods was like the only other bloke outside of Cumdog who actually stepped up. He had 28. He hit 4 threes. He was cutting, he was doing stuff. You're like, that's the pods everybody expected to rock up in this series and who's just been completely fucking MIA. And Cumdog, 26-3 and 0 assists. I love that. Old mate, no mates. He was a -12 in his 32 minutes though, but look, he gave him something. And Moses Moody, nice little bit of shine from him towards the end of this series too. He ends up with 12 points, 2 or 3 from deep. But they go 11 of 39 from downtown. The Wolves end up going 13 of 31 and shooting almost 63% from the floor. On 78 shots compared to 90 for the Warriors. This is the thing. If you take 12, what is it? How many? Holy shit, that's what? 12 less shots. And you fucking still beat a team by 11. It's because you fucking just never missed. It was pretty awesome. 29, 8, and 5 for Randle. He was fantastic again. 13 of 18 from the floor. 22, 7, and 12 for Ant Man. On only 8 of 15 shooting, 5 and 9 from deep. He somehow, and he missed like back-to-back threes where you're like, oh, watch out. Like midway through the fourth. It could have been absolute daggers and still has a wildly effective, efficient night. Conley, 16, 6, and 8. Huge for old man Mike. 17 and 8 for Rudy Gobert. You got 14 for McDaniels. Donde DiVincenzo hits 2 threes. He ends up with 13. And Nazareth, as mentioned, 8 and 4. Really great all-round performance at home by the Wolves. And they are into their second consecutive Western Conference Finals. What a fucking world. And the Warriors go home to lick their wounds. All right. That means we've got 2 Aussies already in the conference finals. Jingling Joe Ingles on the Wolves. Australian Player Watch. Didn't play again today. And, of course, our man Johnny Furphy. Right, let's do an NBA Australia pre-performance of the night, though. Here we go. Let's do it.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
Oh, he's going into distributor mode. I fucking used to hate it when, Reggie Miller and all the dumbest motherfuckers out there, commentating NBA, would be jacking off about Kobe passing the ball. Oh, he's shots off, so he's going into distributor mode. Oh, so he's not being a massive fuckhead. Great. Also, how fucking bad has Reggie been? He's part of Peacock or whatever the fuck, NBC for next year. But I don't think he's doing their play-by-play, the color commentary. Hopefully he's fucking not. Jesus. Anyway, Jaylen Brown and Ant Man both today went into distributor mode and they both win the NBA Australia Performance of the Night because they just orchestrated their wins for their teams. It was amazing to watch Jaylen Brown go 26, 8, and 12, a career high 12 assists as the focal point of an offense. Without Tatum there, it's handy when Derek White hits fucking 7 threes and Pritchard hits 5, right? But the way that he the pace at which he played, I was really impressed by that. And the same thing sort of went for Ant Man, who only finishes up with 22 points. But again, 12 assists, his first double-digit assist game in the playoffs. 7 rebounds, 5 and 9 from deep, shot the piss out of it, 8 of 15 from the floor. And you're like, yeah, he didn't play with a fucking chook with its head cut off. He kept his head. He didn't go 2 cows. He had 7 turnovers, Ant Man, but it wasn't from almost trying to do the crazy shit. They just kept fucking doing really dumb turnovers. And that's probably one of the things I've got in the back of my brain about this Wolves team. The turnovers and these late fucking game situations where they just keep not putting the foot on the throat of teams. They won by 11 today, but fucking hell. It was 11 halfway through the fourth, and it should have gotten back out to 20, but the Wolves just didn't do it. They did not lock in properly. But Derek White gets an honorable mention, obviously, because he had 34, 3 and 2 and 3 blocks and shot the hell out of it and basically helped them, at the start of that third quarter where he had those 9 points, he crushed it. He put them in the position to win, and JB helped them get over the top. Awesome stuff. What a really fun one. And then, of course, Julius Randle, 29, 8, and 5. Just every time he got a bucket, they get him the ball. There's he also had 5 turnovers, right? And that was kind of the thing. He and Ant Man, just the turnovers were fucking brutal all the time. But it wasn't from like, I don't know, hot dog and showboat and stuff. It was just because they were trying maybe a little bit too much at times, but you could at least see their intent was pretty okay most of the time when they had those turnovers. Still, Randle was fantastic. Ant Man fantastic. White and Brown fantastic. And Luke Cornett, he's going to pop up again later. What a fucking game. 10, 9, and 7 blocks. You're taking the piss, mate. Flip side, who was Spud of the night?
Spud, 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 it is Spud of the night.
Spud of the night. The OG Anunoby, 1 of 12 from the floor today, is brutal. 4 of 14, as I mentioned as well, for his mate Mikal Bridges. But 1 of 12 is like pushing it. Holy shit. Across the season, like, yeah, the 1 of 12s and above that, that's absolute all-time Spud territory. But Buddy Hield goes 2 of 9 as well for the Warriors. And as I mentioned, the Zinger, 12 minutes of like 0 of 3 shooting, 0 of 2 from the floor, from 3. He had 1 rebound, 1 block, and 2 turnovers. It was, as Joey Muzz said, bro, he couldn't fucking breathe out there, man. So it's like, okay, why was he playing? I figured he'd be like the big sort of like difference maker in this game, and he wasn't, which makes it very interesting for game 6 if he's good to go. I'm also now very fucking wary that he just will be shit again. But OG Anunoby, 1 of 12, Buddy Hield, 2 of 9. And kind of Spud of the night, look, Jimmy Butler had 17 points on 11 shots. That's very efficient. But still, 4 of 11 shooting in an elimination game for playoff fucking Jimmy. What are we doing here? Just spudding it up. Who's old mate, no mates? Oh, yeah.
Old mate, no mates.
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 Who's got no mates today? Well, Jalen Brunson versus the refs. If you don't think Adam Silver's like, I need this bust in New York game to go to 6 at the very least, then you can pull my leg. It plays Alex Lloyd's amazing, right? It was kind of egregious at times. Boston were always winning that game in the second half once they got that massive lead. There were a couple of little hiccups, but they never really shit themselves. And like the Brunson stuff got a bit fucking on the nose. But anyway, my favorite though, and this is like, this goes down old mate, no mates with Michael Porter Jr. finding out that the team had a team dinner without him. This one has to go to Max Strus. So they had the report during the show, during the game yesterday. And I didn't get to chuck this in with Chris yesterday because we're sort of flying through some of these. But Max Strus texted the group chat, the team group chat, before Game 5, if you don't believe, don't show up to work. So it's like, all right, boys, lock in. If you don't believe we can win this and keep this alive, don't show up to work, bro. Max Strus, you might remember, then proceeded to go 0 of fucking 9 from the floor. Like, how many times do you reckon somebody in that group chat is just like removed him from the group chat and like, Maxie, you bro, don't show up to work. Yeah, if you didn't show up to work, we might have fucking won. 0 of 9. Don't show up to work if you're not ready to fucking, if you don't believe, bro. How about you believe in hitting a fucking shot, Max? Just one. Can't do it, bro. Can't do it. I've got to work. He rocked up to the wrong job. Pantsing the night.
Fatty fat.
Anytime you get Luke Cornett just absolutely fucking the reversed fucking alley-oop jam dagger. Are you fucking kidding me? That was insane. But he had this sick block. He has the save from out of bounds. He's got this sick dunk going up the other end. Luke Cornett by himself pants that New York Knickerbockers of New York City team completely. You got pantsed by Luke Cornett in a game 5. It doesn't really matter because you're up 3-1. It was the inevitable, who gives a shit kind of game. But Luke Cornett being the savior, that shit is so Boston. Oh, and speaking of which, pantsing the night, old mate, no mates, the 4 dudes sitting next to the Boston bench today, I think I tweeted out about this. They were the most white Boston-looking dudes you could ever see. Go back and check them out. There's like a moment where D. White hits a 3 in the start of that third quarter, and they're just up there like, yeah, bro, fucking take that kid. Fuck, come on, dude. And it's just like, oh, that could not be more Boston if it was like Matt Damon and Ben Affleck eating at like Dunkin' Donuts and shit. So anyway, better than Bronny James.
Lonzo was the best player in high school. He was the best player in college. You think he'll get to the pros and be like, I made it to the pros, now I can be average. We're coming for everybody.
Coming for everybody. Goddamn right. Luke Cornett. Seriously, 10 points, 9 rebounds, 7 blocks is fucking wild. Honorable mention, Johnny Cumdog, Millionaire, Cumbucket, Kaminga. 11 of 23 shooting, 3 and 9 from deep, 26 points, 3 rebounds, 2 steals, 0 assists. I believe in his talent, but if Steve Kerr, who is a fucking basketball coach genius, can't sort of like get it through his thick skull, then maybe it's just like, yeah, you're very talented, but shit. Here we are. All right, let's take a quick break. Come back with some Nas right after this.
This is Josh Giddey.
G'day, this is Andrew Gay.
This is Jack White.
This is Joe Ingles.
This is Darcy Daniels.
This is Chris Anstey.
This is Matthew Delvedova.
This is Shane Hill.
Hi, this is Ryan Brockhoff.
This is Mitch Creek. This is Nick Kay.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Australia. You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia. And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening and watching NBA Australia.
This is NBA Australia. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Nas are brought to you by you shouting me a beer or a coffee, however much you want to fucking shout us. You can go shout us a beer, shout us a coffee. There's a link in our bio that'll take you to buy me a coffee. Thanks so fucking much to all the legends who have already signed up and actually like donated and shit. Yeah, you all fucking rule and I appreciate it heaps. It is fucking it. Anytime that sort of stuff happens, I'm always overwhelmed. So I appreciate it very, very much. I'm just here doing this because I fucking can. And everything is super appreciated. So thanks heaps. I think we had Anthony G. We had Davey and Zachy B. Legends, all of you. I think Jez Oz has signed up to one of the memberships. That's it. Oh, we actually, yeah, that's the other thing in there too. We do offer a level of memberships where I will also tape a exclusive show, which will probably be Aussie based. Like it might be a little secret email out MP3 show where it's like a great moment in NBA Australia stat history, but really broken down, stuff like that. Or just sort of something very similar, right? Like a bit of a standalone top 10 lists, that sort of shit. So if you want to go check it out, go check out the links in our bio for buy me a coffee, shout us a beer. You can sign up for a membership. Basically, it's like Patreon, but not as annoying. So you can sign up there. All right. You can also go check out Dabble if you haven't done that already. You can follow all our picks, follow and copy them. Hit the link in the show description. Go bang. Use the code NBA Australia and you'll be able to follow all this stuff. We've crushed all the picks, BT Dub. Smashing it. Anyway, let's do some Nas. I've talked enough already. Dan D. I fucking love this one. There has been more flopping this postseason than a LeBron YouTube package. As the Minister of Common Sense, I feel like you should institute more flop warnings and texts. Every third flop warning, you miss a game. It's hard enough for refs without guys giving themselves whiplash from minimal contact. This has fucking got to be Outback Takehouse. This is great. I love this so fucking much. Let's do it. It's Thursday at Outback, and you know what that means. Oh, yeah. 2 for 1 blooming onions. No prick in Australia knows what the fuck these things are. But I think I've learnt you now. What is it? Some sort of fucking deep fried onion made to look like a fucking flower. No prick in Australia knows what the fuck this is. But it is only at Outback. And it's today's Flame Grilled Take. And today's Flame Grilled Take is, as the Vice President of Common fucking Sense in the NBA, I would institute a rule that we are going hard on flopping warnings. Every third is a bit too harsh. Every fourth warning you cop for a flop, boom, you are suspended 1 game. You know what will get rid of fucking flopping in the NBA? That only at Outback. So, warnings and texts for flopping. Remember how they sort of instituted that and it lasted about 3 weeks? 6 years ago? Seriously. It was like the height of the Harden flopping bullshittery. And at the moment, we're getting to this point where Jokic is flopping. You've got, or embellishing contact. Jalen Brunson is flopping everywhere. You've got dudes literally, like Draymond is, I'm going to kick a fucking dude in the head. Wah, shit. Buddy Hield is like doing shit where it's like, buddy, he barely fucking hit you. We have to institute flop warnings and make it actual fucking serious. If you cop 4, guess what? There's probably maybe 4. There's a big fucking fine. If it gets to 5, guess what? That's a 1-game suspension. It's going to be eradicated within fucking 2 days. I'm just saying. That's how it goes. So I love this one from Dan D. That's also our Outback Takehouse. Other yeah-nahs. Miko. Hiya, Jim. What a week, eh? Finally, Tatum injured on the court shows some real personality. Oh, geez. But also, yeah, nah. Can you do an entire show in the Giannis voice? Haha, love it. Yeah, nah. Nah, I can't because the Giannis voice, A, is hard for me to do, and B, would get me cancelled. Because it does feel borderline extremely racist. And I don't mean it to be because I think all of my dumb fuck accenty shits, they're usually delivered with love. The Joey Muzz accent, the Giannis accent, what are you doing? Hey. Always delivered with love. I love Giannis's voice. It is one of the funniest fucking things. Every time he talks, I'm like, yes, mate. Let's give me some of that. Doing a full show in that, I mean, I would like you all to keep coming back. Like, I think it might be a bit tough. What else we got? Oh, I wanted to revisit the one from Hazza P yesterday, right? So the Spurs thing, and like you see them talking about the Dylan Harper stuff. And so Hazza P yesterday was like, Spurs fan here who's waiting for San Antonio to just destroy everybody again for 10, 15, 20 years. Are we there yet or do we need more picks and keep building? And we sort of talked this out yesterday with Chris, right? Like talking about the idea of like, but if you compare Giannis with Wemby right now and you get to take advantage in the same way in the NFL where you can take advantage of a quarterback's rookie contract, being able to put Giannis next to Wemby, there'll be a point where you won't be able to do that because of the salaries, right? So if you're able to do it now, like, why the fuck wouldn't you? But Dylan Harper, he's also the sort of, he's like this sort of strange mix of potential size because he's like a little bit bigger than like Fox and stuff like that. So when people talk about, he's like a guard, but he's also a pretty fucking big guard. And when you've got De'Aaron Fox at the 1 and Stephon Castle, Dylan Harper, I can at least see why the Spurs are floating out the idea. Well, fuck it, we think it could work. Because I kind of also sneakily go, it probably fucking could. And you've got the number 2 pick. But at the same time, if you can just add Giannis to De'Aaron Fox and Wemby, if you have to give up Castle and the number 2 pick to go get Giannis, I'm still kind of thinking, like, Giannis isn't ancient. He's, 30? I think we talked about this yesterday. So, one of those weird ones where I just think we might see them continue just to keep building because that's like the cheapest way in the way that OKC have done where once your Wemby actual fucking max contract kicks in, probably with Defensive Player of the Year boost and all that sort of shit, it's going to get really hard to actually put lots of talent around him. But at the same time, if you can get Giannis in the building, like you just think about all you need around that isn't a lot. So the thing is, Giannis is already, 30? So, yeah, bit of an interesting one. It's a great situation. I want to know what other people think. Let us know. Unpopular opinion of the day.
Now look at me, please. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
I fucking love crowd t-shirts. Like, I think we talked this out a little bit yesterday with Chris. And I think they make a difference. But you've got to do it right. What are we fucking doing? Minnesota today, on top of OKC yesterday, right? OKC doing the blocks of different colors. So yesterday they do blue and white. Today, the Wolves are in their fucking blues and the fucking away team's in white and your crowd is in white t-shirts. How hard is this just to fucking marry up? Right, we've got an order in for 20,000 t-shirts. And they're white. And you know what you then get to then say? Well, all right, well, that game, we decide to wear our white jerseys. It just makes sense, right? Instead, you have a thing like today where you're watching it and you're like, wait a minute. Who's in white? Where are they playing? What the fuck? This is so dumb. It's so easy. Again, as the vice president of common fucking sense, it's so easy to fix this. And just to make it look fucking sick and cool. And that's all we want sometimes. Fucking sick and cool. It's so easy not to fuck this up, and they keep fucking it up. Hey, extra bonus Outback Takehouse. I got asked by a stats boy today, hey, who do you like to win the title? I'm like, the Wolves. Why is that, Jim? Well, because I was literally watching them kick the fuck out of the Warriors right in front of me. And like my dumb lizard brain is still like, the Warriors are really good. It's like, they aren't that good. They didn't have Steph. And the Wolves are kicking the fuck out of them. So my first thought was like, yeah, the Wolves probably. And then I sort of thought about it a little bit more. I'm like, kind of maybe, yeah. And he's like, all right, who makes the finals? And I'm like, probably New York, because I can't see Adam Silver going, oh yes, I can't wait for my Indiana versus Minnesota finals. Adam Silver will throw 1 million bodies in front of that to make sure that it doesn't happen and he gets New York in the finals. Just saying. Righto, Australian Player Watch. All right, very easy because it's just jingles and he copped another did not play coach's decision. So that sort of sucks, especially when they're up so big, but you know, making sure, I guess. Either way, that also kind of leads into a great moment in NBA Australia stat history. So let's bring that bad boy up, shall we?
Great moments in NBA Straya stat history.
I believe we have, because we have the two fellas in the conference finals. It's the first time since 2016, I think, that we've had two Aussies in the conference finals. Back then, I think it was Delhi on the Cavs, Bogut on the Warriors still. Because once you dig past those two, you're like, oh, but what about Paddy in 17? And you're like, yeah, I don't think there was anyone in the East for a little bit. You think about bangers. I think he misses out on conference finals with the Celtics. And by the time like Bogut's back on the Cavs, he hurts his leg and doesn't play in the playoffs at all because he broke his kneecap or whatever it was. Pretty crazy. So it takes a while. Even with Jack White winning a title with Denver, he obviously, as a two-way player, wasn't on the active roster or anything. So, yeah, here we have Furphy and Jingles on active rosters in the conference finals, which is pretty bloody good. All right, on top of that, though, let's do a very, very quick Andrew Gay's Great MAMBA Award for Outstanding Achievement in the Field of Excellence.
It's the first annual
Andrew Gay's Great MAMBA.
Outstanding Achievement in the Field of Excellence.
All right, let's do it. Ant Man, 12 assists, equals a career high. And the same thing goes for your man, Jaylen Brown, as I mentioned earlier. But Ant Man goes into this one. He's 23 years old. I think he's only in his 34th playoff game. Double-digit assists in a playoff game, 12 of them. I think it took Harden until, I think, around his 54th playoff game, and he was 25 years old to get to double-digit assists. So, Ant-Man, not bloody bad as a playmaker already. Love that for him. And I think the short list of dudes who have had 12 assists, 5 made threes, 20-plus points, etc. in a playoff game is a very short list. So, great job by him. There is an Andrew Gay's Great MAMBA Award for Outstanding Achievement in the Field of Excellence. Right, there you go. Let's do a Paddy Mills Game Day Bull Game Day Twitter check-in. Oh, yes. What's Paddy been up to? He's been vibing, is the short answer. He's been causing all sorts of havoc. Because, here we go, on Island Time Forever. Because Outer Island Collection, out now, straight the label. On Island Time Forever. There we go, just hanging out. He's wearing some seashells, straight. Bit of a launch, looking pretty good. Hanging out with the misso and just having a good old time. Good on you, Paddy. Love that. All right. Let's do some game previews. Game previews. Thanks, Inadvertent Bane. Not a problem, Jim. How's it all going? Pretty good. I mean, I'm still getting the treatment on the Achilles, but, you know, every time it happens, it gets better and all that sort of shit, so that's good. Going to the Living End tonight, so that's going to be good. Bit of a dusty gym tomorrow morning, no doubt, for the pick in the morning for the video. But either way, we did nail the picks again today. I think we went, 2-2 yesterday too. So I'm just saying, 4-4, not bad. Whereas tomorrow's game, let's do it. Who do you like? OKC, Denver, Game 5, 5-5. Who do you think is actually favorited in OKC Denver Game 5 in Denver? Like, this is the most interesting part because it is the Oklahoma City Thunder, -4.5. And as we saw with Denver yesterday, in that really, really intense, awesome game where they win, no, they lose. Can't remember. They didn't hit a shot, basically, outside of Jokic in the fourth quarter. They could do fucking nothing, right? Okay, so you go up 3-2. They go to Denver. Can they close it out? A young team. I think I'm going to go Denver +4.5 again. Just because, again, it's just this close aspect of this series particularly. We saw OKC kick the fuck out of them in Game 2, and every other single game in this series has been tighter than a duck's proverbial. Like, it is absolutely absurd how good this series has been and just how close it's all been. So I think by the time we get round to this Game 6, right, OKC up 3-2. We've got the Nuggets having won by 2 in Game 1. The Nuggets getting blown out in Game 2. They go home. They win 114-104 on the weekend in overtime. They lose by 5 in Game 4. They lose by 7 in Game 5. So they've gone up from up 2-1 to down 3-2. Heart of a champion. +4.5. I think the Nuggets send this to Game 7. Michael Porter Jr. has been so shit in this series. They lose last game despite Jamal Murray having a really good game. I am worried, but I'll take the +4.5 because even if the Nuggets lose, I think it's really close. I don't quite see the Nugs getting blown out at home. I think it'll be much closer to the Game 4 that was played there, the 92-87 game, or the overtime Game 3. So all of these, out of the 5 games, 4 of them have been 5 points or less, basically 7 points or less. So I'm going to go the Nugs +4.5. I believe in the Joker. Surely they'll hit a fucking shot. Somebody not named Jokic will hit a shot in the fourth quarter of this game. Because it was absurd how quickly the OKC defense ratcheted up in that fourth quarter and how discombobulated it had Denver. But I think at home, it might be a little bit tougher for OKC to rip that off. So let's go Denver. What a setup. And then we've got fucking Game 6 Boston, New York, 10 a.m. on Saturday too. That's going to be pretty crazy. But we'll set that up for you tomorrow because that is it for today. And remember, you can follow all of those vibes and picks over at Dabble. Use the code NBA Australia. The link is in the show description. Go check it out. The link is in our social media bios as well. Sign up using those links. Bang in the code NBA Australia. Tell them Jim sent you and help support the show. You can do that also by buying us a coffee or a beer. Legends. Appreciate you all. Otherwise, that's it. We'll be back on deck tomorrow to wrap up a week that's been fucking crazy. We'll wrap up Thunder Nuggets, of course, tomorrow, the good old poop series. But you can follow us on Twitter, Facey, IG, what else? TikTok, YouTube. Jump in the comments, say g'day, send us through some yeah-nahs. We'll have a big empty swathe of time in tomorrow's show because we've only got one game tomorrow. So send through some big weekend preview yeah-nahs for us. Got plenty to talk about, so that'll be fun. Get around us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, whatever app you're using on the Android phone as well. Rate, review, star, subscribe, all the good stuff. Big thanks go to From Oslo for the intro and outro song. Check out House Hats, Joshua De Laurentiis, Fascinated, Gold Mines, Ramshackle Army, iOS Extra, Green, and Dozers. They're behind all the tunes you hear throughout the show, so smash them all on Bandcamp, Triple J and Earth, Facey, Apple Music, Spotify. However you listen to your tunes, follow your bands, do so. NBA Australia supports Australian bands like The Living End, who are playing the fucking corner tonight, which is awesome. I'm really stoked by that too. I can't wait. Jeez, Jim, are ya? Yes, it's going to be great fun. All right, but that'll do us for today. I've got to go sort the squid, so we will catch you tomorrow, you dickheads. I'm stoked that I don't think I've fucked up this show too badly with the mics, etc. And B, again, very sorry for the mic fuck around yesterday and how the fix of it just sort of made it sound a bit shitty, but at least you could hear what I was saying. Kinda. But apologies. Anyway, And apologies to Chris because it was going to be fucking awesome. We weren't able to put up the YouTube video because it was just fucked. So anyway, legend Chris Anstey for jumping on. Go check out his hotel, Trentham and Arco Bar, all the great shit that he does. But we will catch you tomorrow, you dickheads. This is NBA Australia saying, look after yourselves, would ya? And little hosen! G'day, legends. Your mate Jim from NBA Straya here. That's right, I'm doing a thing at the end of the show. In the business, we call it a thing at the end of the show, I guess. I don't know. Either way, all I'm just saying is just make sure you're rating, reviewing, starring, subscribing across all of the apps that you use for NBA Straya. Jump in the comments, give us a shout. We'll bang you in yeah, nahs. Any other questions? I'll have a crack. I've got nothing better to do, basically. Also, just ask any questions, tell me what you want to hear from the show, and sing out and let us know. And of course, if you want to help support the show, jump on the old dabble, use that code NBA Australia, click on the link that's in the show description or on the socials. It goes up whenever I do the morning vibes, etc. So if that's your thing, jump on there, use that code NBA Australia, and remember, look after yourselves, would you?